Hello, and welcome to the Jekyllhydeclub.
I told Gomez to do the greeting this time because he hasn't been talking lately that much and people might think he's not real. And I don't want to be locked up for the voices or anything. So.
Oh, is it too late to tell you that I'm not?
You're real.
Okay.
Okay. Because if people look back at our past videos and if they're new, they should definitely do that and watch them because they're cool. Like, they'll know he's real. He's real. It's not Slappy. He's not doing the voice or the camera. You see his hands are like... Slappy is having issues. He wanted to be in this video and I said, you don't really care about DIY natural air freshener witchy bottles, Slappy. And he's like, I'm tired of being left out and if you don't put me in the video, I'm not going to pay the rent. And I'm like, it's your part of the rent. You should pay it even though we don't really need the money. It's just like principle. And he's like, well, I'm not going to pay it. Then I'm like, I'm going to tell everybody what a jerk you're being. And he's like, well, I'm not going to talk so they won't believe I really said it. So that's the roommate drama going on. But I think they know that I'm trustworthy, Slappy, and you were the villain, so... Anyway, okay. So that was our little thing. We're having roommate issues. I think he's upset that I picked him up by his head today. I didn't mean to. I didn't mean to. It was just like... it was the quickest, most easiest...
Between roommates, some things are just outside of bounds. You just...
Okay, alright people. I know you're not going to tell me that you have never accidentally picked up your roommate by their head before just because it was the closest, most easiest thing to do. If you are going to tell me that, if any of you leave it in the comments that you never accidentally picked up your roommate by their head because it seemed easier at the time, you're lying. So, moving on to this DIY. Yes, we're sober and everything, we just haven't had a lot of sleep, so we decided to have fun with you guys. Okay. I was tired today and not really feeling productive for videos and hauls and stuff we wanted to film, so I ended up doing a DIY thing instead because sometimes like physical moving around doing stuff energy is like more doable than like thinking energy stuff. So, Mom is moving, as in Grandmama Adams, my mother, dearest mommy, if you're watching, I'm sure you're watching, hello. She did actually already move. So she does the me thing and gets rid of a bunch of stuff when she moves. And so she sent me a bunch of stuff. And in the process, she sent me these old-fashioned milk bottles that I have been asking her to send me. And she's like, yes, Tish, you can have some. And I'm like, because she has several. I'm like, okay, when are you going to send them? Oh, I'll send them. And then she would always send me other stuff and forget to put these in. But they finally got put in. So now I have old milk bottles. Yay. I have another one, but I'm using it for a Halloween project for a DIY video later. Closer to Halloween. But anyway, so what we're doing today are witchy bottles, natural air fresheners, and I call them witchy bottles because they're antique old, like from the 30s to 50s or whatever, when milk was in glass bottles, and also kind of like herbs, witchy kind of herb lore thing. So the natural air freshener is you simply get several herbs that you like the smell of, dried herbs, and fill the bottle with them. And don't cork the bottle, just leave it open. And if you're not capping it, eventually the herb smell will drift into the room. Especially if you have several of these. I'm going to do like 4 or 5 in a room. And when you do that, the smell will just eventually kind of go into the room and stay there because the herbs aren't going anywhere and they're not going to lose their smell. So at least not for a long time if they do. So, you know, it should be all good. And it smells just, it's a nice blend. I think I have lavender in here, I have cinnamon, I have nutmeg, I have yarrow, I have Bailey's, I have ginger, anise. Oh my gosh, I'm just trying to remember everything that's in here.
Sage, maybe?
Sage, rosemary. Is that what you said you smelled earlier? And I was like, yeah, I don't. Yeah. Rosemary's in there. Oh my god, just a bunch of different things. There's nothing that you can put in here that won't be great. Just like whatever your favorite smells are, the more the better. And they blend together just to make this heavenly like aroma. And this one, I ran out of herbs. I have to go get some more herbs for this and another Halloween project I'm doing. So yes, I'm ready for fall if you guys haven't noticed. It's totally time for fall. And I'm thinking Halloween projects already. But this one did not get full. This one I'm satisfied with. But this one did not get full because I ran out of herbs, so I have to get some more. But it's still got such a great mix. And I threw an incense cone in there because it smells good too. And it blends great with the herbs. And so it's just like a nice medley and the room will smell heavenly. But no one will know exactly like what. It will just be awesome. It's natural. And it won't have to get replaced. And you don't have to light it. And, you know, just sit a bunch in there and just around the room. They look neat because they're like old bottles. And if you can't obviously find old antique bottles, they're not that expensive on eBay. But if you can't find them, just get some Halloween-y bottles or whatever from Dollar Tree that look cool and old. And, you know, it's cool, you know, to have old bottles, but if you can't, it's, like, easy to find ones that look old. But these are actually antiques, and I love them. Such nice, thick glass they used. And just cool. And it smells so yummy. Well, I wouldn't say yummy, just, like, you wouldn't want to eat it, but very pleasurable. So, anyway, but yeah. So, it's a nice kind of... It's decor as well as good scent, and it's natural because it's herbal and it smells great. I got the idea because I would go into these herb shops, and it just smelled so heavenly in there. And I'm going, oh my god, what is that smell? Like, what is it so I can buy it? And they're like, oh, well, it's kind of like everything we have. So I'm like, oh, great, I get to buy everything you have. Cool. But, you know, I thought, okay, it's the blend of everything. So you just get a blend of everything that you like in herbs and mix it together, and it's very good. So that's how you make DIY natural witchy air fresheners. And, like I said, check your eBay or your local, like, antique shops or whatever for these old bottles, and they're really not that hard to find, and it's kind of cool to have, like, the old energy to go, God, this was around, like, 60 years ago, 80 years ago, whatever. But I like the old witchy bottles from Dollar Tree and other places that just look really old, too. So it works either way, especially when they're in neat shape. So, hope you've enjoyed this little DIY. I don't think it's that original, but I wasn't sure how many people actually thought about it, so I just did it today and was excited to have these finally in my house that I've been, like, coveting from my mommy forever, and so I wanted to share. And if you're new, do subscribe, check out our other videos, and until next time,
Stay spooky, my friends.